everyone, and welcome to the Launch and Prosper podcast. It's James and Alma Kern here. We run linchpinfunnels.com, a full-service funnel building agency focusing on the recurring revenue framework known as Linchpin. Today, we are here to talk about doing it. You have to do it. You have to get it out. You have to express. You have to make an impact. Because if you don't, it's going to kill you. It's going to kill you. The framing context was, we had a really successful launch recently with a client who, he's gifted. He's put in the hours and gotten results for people, and just hadn't really monetized it himself. Hadn't really turned it into a funnel ecosystem. He is working with one of the top three, kind of depending on the week, top three podcasters in the country. Running their social media, so definitely a high quality person, getting results at a high level, but hadn't yet staked his claim to launch a movement for his audience, and we helped him do that, and it was really successful. And there were some turns, some dark alleys, some ups, some downs, but we triumphed at the end. And just goes to show you, it's another story of just fucking do it. Go do it. It's going to be hard. Do it. Get some help if you need to. Get some accountability. Get some tools. Have someone do it for you. But you've been called to do some good stuff. So that's what we're all here to do. We've got our own stories of that and things that have gotten in the way with us. And so we're here to talk about it.
Yeah. I was just sharing with James on Tuesday night. I have this women's circle at a local yoga studio. And so the point of a circle is really to just express whatever is happening with you without people giving you unsolicited advice or feedback, unless you do solicit it. And the thing that kept coming up on a consistent basis throughout the night was women basically complaining about their jobs and the work. And, it's like, oh, the boss is hovering over me, or I'm running out of time, or I don't know if I'm going to lose my job, or my insurance went up and I can't afford it. And I just recently got a raise, so I know I'm not going to get another raise. So just things like that I couldn't relate to. And I could, right? Because
back in the day,
that was me. And now I'm like, these people are having completely different conversations. Of course, I have different problems, but you never run out of problems. Every solution leads to another problem, and which forces you to create a solution for it, which creates another problem, and so forth. So we're never going to be without problems. But those particular problems, I'm so lucky I don't have those problems anymore. And yes, there are days when I wake up and I'm like, how are we going to do it this month? Or how are we going to face this today? But every time we do create a solution for that problem that we woke up with, we feel stronger, we feel more capable. But not that I am saying that, oh, these people have low quality problems. What I'm trying to say is that those are the problems that we all have to get through at some point.
Yeah.
But if we're repeatedly going through those problems, there's something's got to change. It just tells us that nothing is changing.
Yeah. It's like, it's kind of like
addiction.
Well, yeah. Well, I was thinking of fixed mindset versus growth mindset. If people feel stuck, they just might not believe that they can achieve something outside of their current patterns. And that's what entrepreneurship is all about. So it's, Russell talks about the hero's two journeys when it comes to going out there and doing things. It's true. It's like this pain of inaction, this pain of being in the ordinary world. And then you've got this call to go help some other people, and whether that's through entrepreneurship or even volunteering, whatever it is, you have to go do it. That's the thing. Everyone who's watching this right now, you have to go do it. You have to do that thing. And even if you are an entrepreneur, there's something you're afraid of doing right now. There's things that I'm afraid of doing right now.
For sure.
And I have to go do them, because if I don't, then I'm resigning to being at this level and slowly dying,
Yeah. And we have been conditioned, to stay in that culture of being at the same level. I was recently, I don't know if you've read the book 10x is easier than 2x. uh, I was listening to one of the chapters where he, Ben Hardy talks about, how our public school system, which our kid is in public school, we're both product of public school, so it's not like we're throwing rocks at the public school per se, nor are we encouraging people to homeschool or whatever your parenting story is. That's perfect, but public school system was designed back in 1920s, so during the industrial age, so that we could get these humans, these kids, through certain level of education fast enough, so that and condition them so that they have that assembly line mindset, so that they could contribute to industrialism, so that they could contribute to the 9 to 5 mentality, right? We didn't want these kids to think outside of the box because there was no time for that. We couldn't afford for more kids to think outside the box, right? We had to condition these kids to think within the box, within the 9 to 5 mindset, and to make their job a priority, to take pride in their job, right? So today in 2025, we're still teaching kids the same principles. We're still conditioned to think that way, and that's hard to get out of, right? It's really difficult to step out of that and say, wait a minute, this thing that I'm stressing about, this job that I have, I mean, is it really that important? I was reading Alex Hormozzi's comment the other day, not comment, one of his posts, saying Queen Elizabeth died 18 months ago, and she was one of the most powerful people in the history, and how you haven't thought about her until just now when you read my post, right? So do we really think that the stuff that we contribute to on a daily basis, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, overtime, weekend time, whatever that is, is that really gonna matter?
It's not. And the reason why we do it though is because we are indoctrinated not only by society, at large, 'cause it's kind of like nebulous and weird, but probably parents. Like, you probably have parents that said that you should get a job and get something safe and stable in order to ensure that you are never hungry and without home, and that you can not have not be subjected to emotional distress, because people fear that, right? I know for a long time I felt like the job was definitely the way to go. My parents both only worked at jobs, and they were very job centric.
But they were entrepreneurial. They had
Ideas, yeah, but not
Yeah.
any that they ever really took to market,
right? But there was
Yeah, but
I think we all are. We can all have ideas.
right, yeah, it's the execution and the risk that's necessary, and finding a way above or around or through obstacles in order to make it happen, but like I'm just framing of like, okay, we know we want to do this, but what gets in the way? And you were talking about society, you were talking about historical context and the Industrial Revolution, bringing about the need to put kids in schools so that the parents can be at work, and
so the kids could be conditioned by the school system
Yeah.
to think that same way
Yeah.
during those 9 hours of childcare.
I haven't studied that. I'd like to go back and see like what the actual like newspaper articles were like and what the actual theme of it was, because it's really easy to sit in today's position and be like, oh, look, this is how the evil industrialists, bred slaves in the modern time, basically. But it probably wasn't that. It was probably, okay, this is going to allow you to be more free, to not be dependent on, crops or markets or whatever, to be more stable and be happier. Like, it was probably not just, some evil plan. But regardless, we did have this we've had this culture that still exists today, as evidenced by the conversation in your women's circle of, sort of being slave to, or at least dependent on, an employer. And why not go out and start your own thing? Well, because you might fail. Okay, well, who cares if you fail? I might be judged by my parents. I might be judged by my peers. I might hear, and I told you so. I might feel bad about the fact that I am kind of losing status within my circle. And that is the crap you got to get over. That is the thing that is never as bad as you think it is. The actual reality of failing in public is not that bad for a couple of reasons, but the main one really is that people kind of don't care about you. They're all paying attention to their own stuff and worried about their own social status and protecting that. And, I don't know. I think about it. Sometimes I trip on the sidewalk, right? And I think, oh, how embarrassing that is, But then when I see someone else do it, I'm like, yeah, been there. You know what I mean? It's a totally different lens. And I feel like that's how it is with entrepreneurship too, and failing. It's like we think it's going to be this huge thing, but it's like, I mean, if anything, people respect you for going out there and trying something.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also have to kind of know yourself. You have to actually get curious about yourself, right? And know yourself. Mm, you and I have both been good employees too, right? We've been good workers. You and I have always gotten promotions.
I have
And
employee of the year trophies still shoved in a box somewhere,
yeah,
like, yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
We've always kind of started at certain level, obviously at the beginning of our career at the entry level positions, and then worked our way up, and then worked our way up, and worked our way up. So, so I know that I have been a good employee, but I hated every job I ever had. But I kept going to a job, right? And then I would hate that job. And then I would go to another job and I would hate that job. Like, something's off with me here. Am I unemployable? Am I bad person? Am I, so because you don't want to throw it can't be them. I mean, after 12 jobs, it can't be them, right? It's got to be me. So it's like, oh, something's off about me. Something's wrong here. Why can't I just settle? Why can't I just calm down? Why can't I just do what so and so is doing? Right? It's like, oh, what is wrong with me, right? Then that question of what is wrong with me rules your life. And it's like, oh, well, it's wrong in job department. Well, it's got to be wrong in marriage. It's got to be wrong in motherhood. I got to be wrong in this. And I speak for myself, and I developed this identity of something is inherently wrong with me. And and when I buy into that belief that something is wrong with me, then I feel defeated, right? And then I get depressed, and then I eat myself stupid or drink myself unconscious, or just, I don't know, get addicted to something to just escape that wrongness of me. So really studying yourself and understanding yourself, that maybe there's nothing wrong with you, right? Maybe you're just meant for something bigger, something more independent, something that gives you more autonomy. You're not afraid of hard work. I used to think maybe I'm lazy, right? So maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm a hard worker who isn't working hard on the things that fills me up. And that was that big epiphany bridge for me. It was a long bridge that I had to cross to really understand that I am not a slacker. I'm not lazy. I'm not bad. I'm just burnt out from doing things that are not meant for me.
Yeah, I think that you were really out of alignment with how you wanted to move in the world. For me, and so that everything that you just said is true for you. For me, I didn't really hate being an employee because I worked as a software developer, and there was a lot of creativity involved. There was a lot of high frequency conversation taking place. The environments typically were high tech and fun and relaxed, and snacks and foosball, and it was a fun environment. Sometimes we played video games. So
you were okay.
Yeah, I wasn't so far out of alignment, but I knew that I was destined for more. So I think that whether you feel like you're really out of alignment and you are just not a good employee, like you said, or you feel like, I'm okay being an employee because I'm working in alignment with the energy of where I want to go, but you just know you're meant for more, then you got to do something on your own. I feel like the conversation that you just talked about from your women's circle, there's one detail that you left out when we had in our pre-conversation was like someone was talking about the fact that insurance rose by $200 and they don't have the money for that and they just got a raise, so there's no hope of gaining more money. So like I totally forgot about concepts like that, because if I want to make more money, I just put out a new offer.
Yeah.
I just go get a new customer. I just go market harder and add more members to my membership. So like that is like the most freeing thing that I can imagine. And
Which doesn't eliminate the amount of work. It
hell
increases
no,
the
it
amount.
increases the
So it's not-
responsibility.
yeah,
And
yeah.
after this call, we're gonna go make ads to get people into our membership. So
Right.
it's gonna take energy and effort, and there's gonna be failure involved, and it's gonna cost money to fail in order to find out what the right moves are. But like that's part of the game, and the result will be I'll add more people to the membership. Which, if you haven't gone, go to mrrmagic.com. There's no sign in. It's just a cool free tool. You can put in like the number of members that you want to add every month and the cost of your membership, and you can see like with a graph and with a table and with a list of things that get paid off. It's really cool. So it's like, all right, this person that needs $200 or more per month for her membership. Okay, well, if you had a $9.97 membership, that's basically $10. You need 20 more members. What could you do to get 20 members for $10 in the next 30 days? Something. So that's a way that even if you are an employee, you can create some sort of low ticket membership. Like I'm currently a member of Laurel Porty's ads membership that I don't really do anything with, but it's only $7. So, and I know there's good stuff in there. I'm a member of some AI copy club thing that's like $9 a month. These are kind of like forgettable amounts that get charged every month, but I know that I like being in there. I know I like the ability to create to go ask questions if I need to. And it's like anyone can do that. Anyone can make a $9 a month course or a school group or whatever, and do that on the side while they're working their job and kind of build it up organically.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be for ads or any of that. It can be for any, I don't know, something, it can be because we're all seeking community, right? We all need to be part of a community. And if you are building something that creates a community, I don't know, walking in the woods, right? I don't know, hiking or I don't know, whatever that is. I have really ideas or examples are escaping me right now, but anything, right? That you can create a membership for any reason. Makeup tutorials, skincare, hair care, obviously essential oils. A lot of people doing that out there.
We have a client that's currently making a membership that's all about being a distracted artist. And it's just like a place for you to make it be okay for you to be an artist that gets distracted by video games or other things, but still find a way to make your art despite the fact that you're distracted by things. How niche is that, right? But it's working.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, just paying attention to people when they're talking, there's so many people that I've known who would say, it's almost like a badge of honor, right? So they would say, "Oh, I'm a jack of all trades, but master of none," kind of thing, or meaning, but they don't say it that way. They say, "Oh, I'm interested in so many different things. I have so many different," especially the feminine will do that, and myself included, right? It's like, "Oh, I can do all of these things. I can go hiking and ice skating and running and rock climbing and cleaning and I don't know, running a business with my friend and my husband and myself," right? So there's so many women who take pride in something like that, right? And instead of making them wrong, make them right. It's like, yeah, me too. Here's a membership for all of you women who want to be jacked.
What are our crazy ideas this week?
Exactly. So instead of making, the coaching industry, and I've been in it for so long now, but the coaching industry is all about kind of making people wrong in a way. It's like, yeah, let's fix that, right? No, you got to be this way because Alex Hormozy says this. So you can only focus on one thing at a time.
Outwork your doubt.
Yeah. It's like, okay, yeah, that's one way of doing things. But here I am. I believe that we can all be Janes or Jacks of all trades and come with me, and people will join you. Whatever that is that you hear people talking about over and over and over, and you relate to it, that just tells you that there are people out there who need a community for that, so that they don't feel lonely anymore. And create it, right? It doesn't have to be some crazy world-changing idea. It can just be this thing that you're hearing about over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
so I get really passionate.
It's like creating a club,
Exactly. You're creating a club, and then you're solving the problems that people are talking about in the club, right?
Yeah.
So instead of going out there and be like, oh, let me create an imaginary problem and consult ChatGPT to see if this problem really is a problem, and then try to market it. Like, no, let's just open our ears and be present with people and see what we're hearing over and over again that we can relate to, so we can help those people.
ChatGPT is really good at blowing smoke. It's really good at validating your idea no matter what it is.
Exactly.
So
yes.
Beware of that.
Yeah.
I'm a believer in find a problem that actually exists that you can solve and solve it.
And consult people, right? It's still.
Exactly. Find problems that people have and solve them for people.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, like you say, like Tony says, we're in the business of state change. We're emotionally transferring energy from dark to light. So find a way to do that.
Absolutely. And really what we're all after is community, right? Connection. Because as tribal species, we need connection. We need to be part of a community, and there are people out there who are seeking that community. Just create it for them, give it to them. And then there are people out there who say, I'm a lone wolf. I only do my own thing. I don't trust other people. I don't want to be around. I mean, it sucks, but let them be there. It's okay to love people and let them be where they need to be and focus on this next thing for you.
That's just trauma. Everyone wants to be connected. If you don't, yeah.
Well, you believe you don't,
yeah,
right? Because you're protecting yourself. Yeah.
Cool. So go do your thing. If you want help, you can reach out to us. You can go to linchpinfunnels.com. We've got programs for you to do it yourself, do it with us, or have us do it for you. We're really good at building funnels that convert and bring customers in. If you don't have an audience, it's best to build it by yourself or with us and do it slowly. If you do have an audience, we can turn traffic into dollars. So hit us up. Love y'all. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.